Hey healers, we're live. What's in my hair? Oh my god. Is that cilantro? Stop it. Okay. Okay. And I got something in my teeth. There's no turning back. There's no turning back. I'm here to deliver this message. Oh my god. Healing the mother wound and healing the muses. I'm blocked from going live on Sacred Stripper. Wow. I was going to try to deliver this message on Sacred Stripper. I was gonna try to deliver this message on Sacred Stripper, but no, I'm blocked because my content is inappropriate. Okay, so if you guys like my content, this is me, Amira Barakat El Beledi, the Sacred Stripper, founder of Heaven on Earth Reiki, the Heaven on Earth app. If you like my content and you care about seeing my content, make sure you follow me on other platforms: Twitter, Sacred Stripper. YouTube, Sacred Stripper, Facebook. I don't let everybody follow me on Facebook, but if you know, you know. What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? Drop your city, drop your zodiac sign. You guys like that? The cilantro thing? Oh my god, that was... Jesus Christ. I've been driving the struggle bus, you guys. Wow, this healing was intense. This was a month-long group healing. And it was so intense, and it was just so funny because I barely promoted it. The whole month I barely promoted it. Only 2 people signed up, and then another person I added in as a gift, and we completed that over the weekend. Like, I did okay, so first of all, the way the energy healing works when I do it this way as a group is basically it's like ongoing all month. So I create the container. The container is housing just the people that are involved in the group healing. That's the people that sign up, that pay their money and consent to the energy healing. And then we're working on these really deep goddess level issues of healing that translate to human life through our relationships and like through our life experiences and everything. So oops, sorry, Facebook. So it had been very interesting because my own relationship with mom was challenging. A lot of sex workers have very challenging relationships with their moms and their parents, especially immigrant sex workers. So, hey y'all, welcome. So, like, everybody always talks about how sex workers have daddy issues. They love to talk about how sex workers have daddy issues. We have mommy issues too. Hello. Don't forget about it. And our moms are mainly the main ones that stifle our voices. Okay, not the main ones. Anybody can stifle our voice. Our voices get stifled by so many fucking factors. It's fucked up. What happened? What happened to Facebook? All right. I'm triple streaming right now, you guys, so you can catch this live stream on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you like my content, I suggest that you subscribe on YouTube and follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, because, like, you already know. I seen somebody's bio. It said all bad bitches are shadow banned. I loved that. Like, yeah, you really can't be a bad bitch on IG anymore without being SB'd. So it is what it is. So, like, the muses are the goddess level energies of song, dance, poetry, creativity, through the creative arts. So when we're trying to express ourselves authentically and there's like something we want to say or something we want to do and we just can't squeeze it out, like it's just like right there but it's stuck, there's a throat chakra blockage, and that's speaking and listening, and that's the color blue. That's why I'm wearing blue today and I have my nails blue. So this is color therapy. Yeah. there's usually like if usually like people that are gifted with the gift of gab and the gift of speech, they're also experiencing a wound around speech and around speaking, because you don't just become like a good game spinner. You've been that way. I still have, oh my god, you guys, this is so embarrassing. Did I get it? I was eating this like chocolate with espresso beans. No shit, it's still stuck in my teeth. Okay, I'm just gonna continue. Don't judge the messenger, read the message. I swear. So, like I was saying, like, okay, so I don't even know what I was saying. I got all off track. But we don't expect to be perfect. We just expect to show up and get the shit done. And like the big lesson that I've learned with this healing, like it's not new. These energies are old. They're the oldest energies on earth, because everything comes from something. Everything comes from a source. And there's so many different sources of so many different energy forms. But the source that's really important here is our internal source. And it's a everlasting spring that comes straight from the divine. These are sacred waters that occur naturally in our bodies. Okay, so there's nothing more natural than this. And without going all deep into all the conspiracies and everything, you know, so many entities have so much to gain from you being disconnected from your source and disconnected from your power. We know this. There's also ways in which we've been indoctrinated into believing that we have more to gain by giving up our power. And this comes through the mother wound, from ways of coping, ways that mothers generationally had of coping through, dang, I keep doing that, my bad, through coping, through like surviving and stifling, going along to get along, knowing that, okay, if I say what I really feel, he's gonna whoop my ass, so I'm not gonna do that. And raising up children in the same way of being like, you know, fearful of raising their voice. Like, one of the most joyful things that I love is to go live with you guys and talk to you guys and read what you have to say in real time, and like share this energy. And a lot of times I'm really tired after I get off live. I'm a spiritual mother. It has taken me a while to embrace this identity as a spiritual guide, but this is what I am. I didn't choose this. I didn't think like, oh, that'll be cool, this will be cute. Spirit grabbed me and choked me up and was like, you you know, and just fucked me up because the level of responsibility for caring for people's spiritual well-being, like, I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong. Because it is so sensitive, and it can be such a volatile space. And my own healing is a direct reflection of the healing work that I'm doing with others. The people that come to me, they're working on things that is similar to what I'm working on. So, weirdly, like, even though it just seemed so destined for me to become a spiritual healer for sex workers and survivors, and that's what I wanted, and that's what I worked so hard for, it's still like, I still resisted it. And it was still like an identity that I, like, you know, I've had to ease into it. And I've been doing this for years already. And I'm just now feeling in my bag and feeling like I've eased into this identity and I can relate to it. But you know, when you're in that liminal space, and this is the liminal space between the phases of the goddess, like the phases of the goddess moon, going from the maiden to the mother to the crone. You know, a person can become a mother but stay in the maiden phase. I literally just heard somebody on another Instagram live say the same phrase, so don't think I'm like plagiarizing them, but we're in collective consciousness together with the Sofia code and divine feminine healing. And the Sofia code, when you look at heaven on earth Reiki, like an Isis Reiki, and then you look at the Sofia code, which I didn't even know about the Sofia code and had never read it before I channeled Heaven on Earth Reiki and Isis Reiki, and to see the similarities is amazing. To see the similarities between so much of what people are like coming to spiritual sexual healing with, you know, it's not a coincidence. And I've been very insecure in my position and felt just like I had to protect it, you know, but you don't have to you don't have to validate what you are. You don't need validation for what you are. You are that you are. And a lot of that insecurity and that need for validation comes from those mother wounds and the muses wounds too, because when you're in your muse energy and you are not just embodying the muse, but you are embodied by the muse, meaning like you're not just inspiring others, you're inspired yourself. Because that's the thing that we struggle with, sex workers. We're always somebody's inspiration, but when it comes to us trying to create, our creative energy gets easily depleted because we're constantly like, not only are we constantly like using it, you know, using it for our benefit, but we're also expected to just give it away. And we're indoctrinated into capitalism in such a way that a lot of times if it was a situation where we would choose between using our creative energy for our creative pursuits or using our creative energy to make quick money that we know for sure we can do, in a society where we've been validated as like sexual, I don't want to say sexual playthings, but like we've been validated as like fuck toys. So that, you know, that is validated. It's like we already know, you know, but we haven't been validated as creative geniuses. When you look at like any singer, you know, I like celebrity culture is whack, but the people need beautiful music and they need beautiful art and entertainment. And like I'm becoming so discerning on a deeper level of what media I will consume, because it's just like a lot of it isn't even resonating with me anymore, and I'm feeling the vibrations and I don't like them. That's part of going into the mother phase of the goddess energy, is your tastes are changing, you know, they're becoming more refined, like you know who you are more. There's a fly. I've been being haunted by flies, you guys. I'm not even mad. Because I like insects and they're spirit animals too. Hey. So the fly medicine is like, you know, make the most of today. Be quick. Go after what you want today. Don't wait. Because if you wait till tomorrow, it might not be there. And just like with our messages that we want to get out there, like there's an urgency, you know, there's an urgency for you to use your voice and for you to embody all of your goddessness. Insects, they hang with me too. A fly has many eyes. Spiders, I love spiders. There was a spider by my bathtub earlier. A fly has many eyes. That is so cool. I didn't realize that, but I remember that from that movie. Okay, we got a Cancer in Chicago. That's right. I feel so full, honestly, but also notice how much my wounds want to sabotage me. Literally, during this one's healing, I found my community that I've been dreaming of for so long. And now we are all linked up on a project based around dance and music. That's beautiful, mashallah. Good for you. And the spiders have been everywhere. Wow, I love spiders. They are abundance. And like honestly, like I've gotten bit by a few spiders before, you guys. It didn't even faze me because I felt like they were giving me their medicine. I love talking to you guys because I can just talk my shit and be unorthodox, and you are right there with it. So that feels good. And it's important for us to give ourselves that validation, because that's what I was gonna say with one point of healing with the muses is that with the muses and the mother wound, a lot of times when we feel like we haven't gotten enough attention, we're missing that attention, that like, you know, motherly love and attention, somebody caring, you know, about how we feel and comforting us. And you know, starting to like, you know, there's two ways to go. There's either suppressing the grief or there's feeling and expressing the grief. There's this thing, have you guys seen the movie what the fuck is that movie, creepy ass movie called? Fuck, what is it called? It's like a German word. It's like some cults, some like old timey like Irish cult or something. Midsummer. Okay, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. It was a Midsummer. So, you know, there was a thing in the movie where one woman was grieving and started crying, and then all the other women who were in the mother or the crone stage, not the maiden stage. The maidens were busy fucking, but the mothers and the crones were crying with her. They came all around her and started crying with her. So this is basically like a sacred tradition of grieving, where like people don't grieve by themselves. Like everybody grieves with them because everybody has something to grieve. And as we grieve as a community, we really purge like the essence of the pain and the sadness away so that we can live another day. And this is how people bring new life into the world, because there's a deep wound within like humanity of there he goes, of not wanting to bring children into the world because the pain is too great. And you know, when you think about like, you know, just all of time, especially the last 7 generations, where like shit was a struggle for a lot of people to bring children in this world, and like it just didn't feel safe or even worth it, but they still kept doing it because those instincts were there. So now a lot of us are the ones that are feeling like we're that at that 7th generation, and so we're feeling all the pain, and kind of that's why there's so many torchbearers here in this generation, and so many that are like, you know, actively clearing generational curses and reversing the curses, reversing the trauma, inverting the trauma. That's alchemy, you know, and this is what our ancestors practice. This, they know this. So when you want to know what to do with your life, you tap into your center, your core, and your source. And your source is you, is all that you are and all that you're made up of. And it's everything. You're made up of everything. There's nothing in this world that isn't a part of you and that you're not a part of. Hey, babe. The Wailing Woman, 100%. 100%. So, you know, like you gotta cry. You gotta cry. If you're sensitive, cry every day. Be more sensitive and do what you gotta do to protect your sensitivity. Because, like, I think we've all internalized a lot of lies from capitalism that say that we have to do this or that to be successful. And what we need to do to be successful is what we want to do. Because what is it gonna look like? Like, how is it going to be success if it's not what you want and it's not what you want to do, and you're forcing yourself or literally doing anything that you don't want to do? You should never do anything that you don't want to do, no matter who don't like it. And setting boundaries will hurt, like make people mad. They might seem like they're hurt, but they can love it or hate it, and it's your life. a lot of the mother wound has to do with like not even knowing how to set boundaries, not being able to set boundaries because that was not a thing. Because, you know, dealing with like a narcissistic mother or, you know, anybody in the family with any type of abusive dynamics in the family. I totally cry every day, always on time and on point. Mwah. Mwah. Good to hear. Tears are therapeutic. That's those sacred waters. That's what I was talking about. Always on time and on point. Like, I had to go live. Like, I was like, I knew all night that I was supposed to get on and go live, but it was like, you know, I had to wait for the perfect time. And like, one of the things that's been internalized through the mother wound is a deep sense of self-sacrifice, which will have us doing things that we don't want to do, and avoiding things that we do want to do, and we don't know the difference. Like, we don't know the difference. So what we're dealing with now, we're literally like going into our eyes and just like pulling out everything that has been implanted in there into our brains through our eyes, is trying to tell us how to be and how we should be. My intent is to mind fuck people 100%, and I am a demonic succubus. So please excuse me, everybody out there that hates me. Good for you. I was gonna say good for you. I hate myself too. You don't even know the half of it. You don't even know the half of it. Bitch, stop playing. You don't even know the half of it. Like, I gotta say wild shit and just speak my mind. And if I don't, I will die. There's no reason to be alive. So I pray for everybody watching this, and everyone worldwide, that you can speak your mind and your heart and speak from your soul against all obstacles and express your frustration, whatever it may be, because it needs to leave your body. So don't worry about hurting people's feelings. You're always going to hurt somebody's feelings. That's their problem. I can't stress this enough. I love the gentle energy that so many people that I love embody, and that's not my energy. It's going to be gentle sometimes, but it's not always going to be gentle, and it shouldn't have to be. So again, we're dealing with just these like imposed restrictions on us, trying to say what we are, what we have to be. People like looking at us, taking a snapshot, applying it with whatever other indoctrination they have about our face, and running with it. And it's hurtful. And then it's like 5 of Swords energy, because the thing about it is, being conscious of it doesn't make it any less hurtful. Actually, I think it makes it more hurtful. So on that note, I'm going to pull some cards from the Ostara Tarot deck to see, because 5 of Swords energy has been coming up really heavy, and around families in particular, which I interpret that as basically you won the fight or you won the argument, but it wasn't satisfying. It was a hollow victory. Like, yes, you were right, but it didn't make you feel any better about being right about it. Like, yes, you won the debate, but was it worth it? No. So 7 of Cups. She's got so many drinks on her tray. Everyone is watching her, and she's about to tip them over, and she doesn't really care. She doesn't really care. There's like a deep sense of hopelessness and despondence coming through the mother. And it's like, whether she hid it well or, you know, like expressed it, whether it was like deeply felt by her or something that was like not able to be felt within her. That sadness, despondence, hopelessness, and like anxiety and ADHD coming from the PTSD. And what I see here, I feel like I'm about to like read myself. Like I feel like I'm about to read the fuck out of myself. Like this just got way too real. But it's like a lack of commitment to following through on decisions, or like quickly like making a decision, quickly changing your mind, because it feels like nothing matters anyways. A lack of follow through, and a mask that hides and conceals the true emotional intent. So, you know, everybody else is looking with their masks too. And are we really seeing each other? It's talking also about collecting people. The difference between community and collecting people. Because real community, like you can't cut somebody off. Like you can't exactly like if that's a real communal connection, then it's not gonna go anywhere. And you know, like what do y'all think? Like back in the day, people like they did not like if everybody lived in the same community, like you don't just get to move away from your ex, you know? But we can move away from our shit and do like that and not see people and stuff, but we are still confronted with the same lessons coming up over and over. So I think this is really interesting, the Seven of Cups, because it speaks to a narrow path, because it's not just about like choosing between different things, but it's just also about the fact that the thing that you choose, that is a single pointed focus. So what if you're choosing one thing and like you're trying to get there, but you got too much bags to carry and it's too heavy on the way. The path is so narrow, you can't fit through with all those bags. Right at the end of the path is what you want, but you're not going to get anywhere until you drop those bags. And it's a very personal process. Nobody can make you do it. Actually, that's why people hire coaches, to have somebody make them do it. My next thing that I'm going to be doing is one-on-one coaching, intensive coaching with individuals, not group coaching. But we still have group things going on. There's so much going on behind the scenes. So like real quick, because this also applies to healing the mother wound. As a spiritual mother and as a I almost choked, as a leader, as a community leader, reluctantly so. Like it's like somebody told me today, like they felt like they were supposed to be famous, not for themselves to like be seen as super cool, but for somebody else to see them and be inspired. And I feel like that about myself too. I was checking out my 10th house placements via Beauty and Brujeria BMC page, Black Madonna Cosmetics. So 10th house is like your career, you know, what makes you good at your career and what really like helps you thrive and need to be what you need to be successful in your career. And it like it also, you know, it also speaks to fame too. So wait a second. I want to say my 10,000 is in. Oh, I know what it was. It's my 5th house Leo placement is what is the celebrity placement, and then the 10th house. No, not 5th house is not Leo. Wait, where's my Leo? So I have Virgo in the 10th house, and I have Leo in the 9th house. And the 10th house is Capricorn, the ninth house is Sagittarius. I don't know where I'm getting this celebrity placement from, but something that I looked up was talking about that, and they were literally saying that same thing. They were saying like you are somebody that's destined to be famous and be in the public eye, even though it's reluctantly, but it's just because the nature of like what you've been called to do, that when you're doing it, you're going to be showing up publicly. And I realized in my shadow work last night that yeah, that is something that I want actually. Like, but I suppress it because, again, because of the mother wound, because the mother wound teaches us to turn our light down, to not be shiny and bright, not be seen, especially not seen for who we are. If we're going to be seen, it needs to be a pristine, perfect, pulled together image that will inspire envy and admiration. So, you know, definitely not showing up like a hot ass mess, messy ass bitch, dumb on some dumb bitch shit, as I may sometimes be. And, you know, some of the lessons, like this spiritual journey ain't no joke, you guys. Some of the lessons that I learned and the ways that these lessons get taught to me is just next level brutal. I'm not complaining. Like, you know, I can take my L's just as much as I can take my wins. And I can probably take L's better than I can take wins, to be honest. But we're bringing in a new era, and I told my best friend earlier, I'll remember this day forever, because this is a new day, and it's a new day of speaking our truth and being connected with our emotional channels. When our emotional channels are clear, our psychic channels are clear. And the only way for us to clear our emotional channels is to feel our emotions, not only feel our emotions, but express our emotions. So not letting yourself get blocked up. It's just as bad as not having sex. And that's another thing too. 11th house is public. So that would be 10th house Capricorn, that would be Aquarius. And if my 10th house is Virgo, then 11th house is Libra. I gotta look it up and see, because I can't really remember at the moment. My 10th house is in Scorpio with Pluto and Mars in that house. Those planets are also in Scorpio. Yeah, I have Mars in Scorpio, and I have Pluto in Libra. 10th house Scorpio, so that's Capricorn. That's a challenging placement there, especially that Pluto. But you doing what you were supposed to be doing. You like, that's like your business card right there. Wait, not having sex is bad. You know, it's everybody's personal preference. But what I'm like, I'm just starting to realize so many things. Like, for example, like being in a healthy relationship is such a life hack, which obviously, duh, but like you're getting healthy sex regularly. You're, if that's what you want, if you're an ace, then, you know, you do you. But if you're somebody that like gets horny and likes to fuck, you should definitely be having sex regularly, as regularly as you want to. Sex is part of self-care. It's good to practice celibacy at times, because sometimes we need to heal, we need to clear, especially us sex workers. We be catching sex demons and STIs, spiritually transmitted infections. So, you know, we need to cleanse, we need to clear. Every time I see a client, pretty much every day, and it doesn't matter what type of client it is, whether it's a client for doing Reiki healing or a client for doing sex work, I cleanse and clear my energy. I do Reiki on myself before and after. I do Reiki on the space. I do Reiki on the client. I do Reiki on my space, my home space. I take a spiritual bath. I cleanse my energy. I burn frankincense and myrrh and other incense and other resins, and this is how I clear my space. And I have the spiritually aligned sex work guide at the website, and that tells like basically a lot of what I do and how I clear the energy. But yeah, I had to be celibate for a long time to heal. And like, one way that you can tell that it will benefit you to practice celibacy to heal is if your orgasms are really, really shallow. if you just only have like surface level orgasms all the time, especially if you have a bunch of them, like if you like bust one nut and then you like immediately want to bust another one and another one and another one, and they're shallow, like you don't feel them like on the inside of your body, like rocking your body, there's work to be done there. But like honestly, like it's like I'm still working on it. I can't have a whole full body orgasm yet, because like actually I can, but it's really rare. But it's because like every orgasm is very different. And they're all used for different things. Like I direct them to different areas in my body for healing different issues. So sometimes it's going to be like pulling in energy, sometimes it's going to be expelling energy. But you know, this is what I'm into, and this is what I as a Muslim woman, and like I honestly like raised between the both equally brutally repressive religious traditions of Christianity and Islam, and cultures of white culture and Arab culture. I can tell you both places fucked me up mentally and sexually. And so even as I'm like, yes, I'm a bad bitch sexual health expert, I get nervous to talk about this stuff sometimes. So, and I'm transparent with you guys about that because I want you to know, like, you know, this is what's up with me, you know, and if you experience this too, you're not alone. And if you don't, then, you know, talk your shit, help. Let's clear the collective throat chakra out together, because we're all in this together. We're all doing this together. And I'm just like, yep, just high five, go healer. Go healer, get it, boo. We doing it. We doing it. So yeah, like I honestly, I wanted to get a jump on this healing this year because it ruined my summer last year. Like I'm straight up, like it was so hard. I wasn't prepared. I was teaching the Reiki class, and it really took off, and we got a lot of students enrolled, and we initiated so many students. It was like, I don't know exactly the exact number that we initiated last year, but I feel like it was like almost 50 in a few months. And that was, you know, that was more students than I had worked with before. I take my time with it because like as I'm initiating new students, I'm going through an initiation process myself. And every summer I have like a shadow, like a dark goddess initiation. The shadow energies within me are like, you know, they're at play there. And I'm embracing my darkness more and more because it is such a big part of me, such a big part of who I am. And it's so deeply shoved back to the back of my shadow side. It's like, I don't celebrate it. I don't embrace it. But it's what is like one of the most attractive and special things about me that I hold sacred and hold dear is my darkness, my negativity, my poison, you know, my demonic side. Like it feels good to me to be that. And I like to speak publicly about it too. So the only thing that would hold me back would be the fear of being hurt by somebody because they don't want me to be heard. And this is a fear that is part of the mother wound. It's a part of a fear that my ancestors have had for me, that my elders have passed down to me, and that I still carry in my own body. Even as outspoken as I am, I told my homegirl, like, I feel like my throat chakra is so blocked. And she was like, I don't think it's blocked. I think it's on fleek. Oh my God, that was so good. I'm like, yes. I love her. We laughed because, like, you gotta have people that validate you, like, because they can see you when you can't see yourself. You know, some of the things that we might struggle with so much about ourselves, like other people are looking at it like, bitch, you the shit. So what's the problem? And that's, that's important to get that reflection, and you're not going to get that from somebody who's not secure in themselves. And a lot of us have had mothers that weren't secure in themselves, and fathers that weren't secure in themselves, if they were even there. And that has created this like tornado effect of like just, basically whisking away connection. It's like there's no time for connection. This is capitalism. People are stressed about bills. They don't want you to say the wrong thing because then you want people to get a good job. I feel like I'm supposed to like start speaking in tongues right now. Honestly, I'm not even there, but I feel like I just feel like I'm not ready to start speaking in like codes. I'm not ready for all that. Spirit has been telling me they're gonna upgrade my gifts, and I'm not ready for all that. I swear. But okay, like, it's gonna come as it comes. And that's another thing, is that we can't be afraid of looking weird. We just have to be able to be ourselves. You gotta have people who validate you because they can see you and you can't see yourself. I mean, I'm gonna screenshot that quote. That is so good. Yeah, you got to. Because if you tell a stranger bitch, like, like my throat chakra is so blocked, I can't communicate. It's so hard for me to communicate. She's gonna be like, oh, that bitch can't communicate, like she don't know you. If you tell a stranger, like, something where you're downplaying yourself or downgrading yourself, they'll just believe it and they'll just be like, oh, that bitch ain't shit. And some friends are stranger friends. They're not really there. They're not really there with you. They don't have the presence of mind to even be there with you. And you might not even have the presence of mind to be there with yourself. So, we are like endlessly finding ourselves and then like finding our ways back to one another. It's not a coincidence that we come together when we come together and drift apart when we drift apart. And it doesn't always have to be a fight, but that's how, some people handle things, the fight or flight. That's how some people handle things. When they feel that trigger, they're triggered, they want to fight. Other people, they want to run away. People have whatever way, they might try to keep the peace. People have whatever way of dealing with it, and it doesn't help us to be hypercritical of them. But though that criticism that we feel, or that like that comes up, will help us know what we need from those that we want to hold close to us. Because nobody has time to be like nurturing 50 million relationships. Like you got to place people where they fit in your life, and let them be there and accept them for that, and not try to change things too fast or make anything different than what it is, because it is what it is for a reason, and when that reason changes, the circumstance will change. I feel like exercising our light language, because we can hack the game if we use light and telepathy. Some friends are stranger friends. Yeah, everybody don't have the same heart. It's fun. It's fun. I'm so tired of speaking language. I'm glad this light language is coming through for me. I knew this was coming. You heard it here first. Keepity keep beep keep. Keepity keep beep beep. Keepity keep beep beep. I keepity. This is fun. Did y'all hear what I said? What I was saying was like, this is great for us if we're tired of speaking English, but we don't feel like we can grasp any other language. We can download our own light codes and our own intergalactic language from our home planets. This shit is wild. This is cracking me up. And I know as I embrace my identity as a spiritual guide more and more, I'm going to embrace more of my gifts. I felt very self-conscious coming out as like a teacher of spirituality, even though I had to do it because spirit was on my ass, and was not fucking playing with me. But I felt self-conscious because I'm like, bitches know, like, it's way more bitches out there that are way more advanced with their spiritual gifts than me. Way more advanced, been doing it way longer. But they're not me though. They not first of all, they didn't make an Instagram page to put bitches up on game. First of all, they didn't have no desire to put bitches up on game. But like, it's like, you know, one fatal flaw in my organizing system or whatever, my operating system is like pouring out before I pour in. Like, I'm not like pouring out and like, I'm not like pouring in and then pouring out from my overflow. I'm just pouring out. But scratch that, clear, cancel, and delete that because I'm pouring in. I'm not the Queen of Cups anymore. I'm the Empress now. The Empress pours in and overflows, and she never lacks for nothing. I heard you say freedom at last. MashaAllah. Beat drop? Beat drop. I love this language. Kitty, 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 kitty. That sounded like kitty, 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 kitty. Ever since I was a kid, I always loved calling for the cat and saying, kitty, 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 here, kitty, 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 kitty. And I think I was speaking my language from Arcturus. Thank you, Arcturians. Arcturians have claimed me. Arcturians are like all over me. They love me, and they're the ones that's helped me with my like social media and my technology outreach. And I am really happy to be working with them because they're helping me to use our technology channels to free the people, to speak life to the people, to connect with us, because we are a community that's global and intergalactic, and we are like, I see us like all lighting up like a constellation, like we're connected, because all earthlings are antenna of earth and connected to this earth. And then those of us with the light beings, the starseeds with the light codes, we're like lit up like a constellation, like a grid, a massive grid. Most of us are all around all around the world. It's a lot of us on North America, Turtle Island. And like, you know, when we're making amends, making reparations, ending colonization and reversing its effects, we have to accept and understand that where we are, where we have ended up, bless you, Ulam, Habibi, where we are, where we have ended up is where we're supposed to be right now at this moment. So pay your respects and your homage to the ancestors of the land and the chosen keepers of the land, and listen for the good guidance on how to move, you know, and how to love. Because it's a lot of us, like, we may not necessarily be on our ancestral homelands, but some ties that we have there are still very deeply felt, whether they're past life or ancestral that we might not be aware of. We're getting our memories back. Nobody can stop it. The quickest and easiest way for us to remember, for many of us, those that are artists and creators, is to create and express, because things come through with our art that we wouldn't be able to know otherwise. And it's the truth. Spirit has been on my ass too. Yes, a lot. Yes, Spirit ain't playing with us. Y'all know, like, I don't know if y'all know what's going on. I know y'all know what's going on. There's no words, but it's a movement. Hoes are healers. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm gonna I want to recommit to my mission, as one of my missions in life, as a supporter of sex workers seeking careers in the spiritual healing arts. And I want to unapologetically say that sex work, if you want to escape from sex work, if you don't want to do that shit anymore, like, I 1,000 wholeheartedly percent support you. And I feel like this ain't nothing new, but I'm so tired of the attitude that everybody has to like love their job all the time. This shit is hard, and the shit we deal with is ridiculous. And honestly, there's some of this I just don't want to deal with it anymore, because I can't deal with it and consistently fulfill my mission as a support for sex workers and survivors, a spiritual support. Because if I'm all fucked up trying to heal from the trauma that from this trick or that trick, how can I be there for y'all? But I am glad that, I think it's important for me to go back every once in a while and get that perspective, because like I've mostly been making my money doing sex work this summer. And it's been great because I've been able to take a break from the healing business, because I needed that. I was so burnt out, and I've been burnt out, and I needed time to rest. This is not a game. Like, a lot of people want to provide healing services to sex workers. I come across people all the time that tell me that, like, I want to do this for sex workers. I want to do that for sex workers. And like, yes, you can. You absolutely can. And you have to be a bad bitch to offer services to sex workers. And so I had to be a badder bitch than I knew that I was. But it's all to the good. I'm here for us. Like, one of my goals was to increase the capacity for healing within our community, so more people could be trained in holistic healing arts. And I could have done so much more if I had let people help me and let people love me and not been so afraid of the way that people loved me, because it scared me. Like my last live, or like the couple lives ago, when I was talking about the fear of being liked. Well, with your boundaries intact, like, and your stable grounding, you won't have to be afraid of being liked. And that's one of the things that is going to come through really strong for the people that participated in the group healing, is like getting a solid foundation, a really solid foundation, so you feel secure in speaking your truth, because you don't feel like anybody can shake you off your square. The easiest way to remember is share your truth. Yep. And when you share your truth with people who are listening, they'll remember, and they'll remind you. And they'll remind you who you are. And that's why relationships and friendships are so important, and why one of the main tools of oppression is divide and conquer. Because when people are divided, then they're easier to control and exploit. But when they're united, unified, and they're loving each other and caring for one another, then you can't take them down and you can't take them away. And we need y'all out there, showing up and letting people love you. Like, you shouldn't have to be afraid of being liked. That should be a good thing. You shouldn't have to worry that someone's going to hurt you or try to take your joy. Your joy, that should be something that we all protect. Everybody is responsible for group culture and community culture, and everybody is responsible for community care. So on that note, I'm gonna head out. Thank you for tuning in. I've been taking a lot of time off, resting, getting clarity. There's just so many things I'm working on behind the scenes. I know I always say that. It's always true. And I just can't wait to share them with y'all. And getting through this healing has really helped me because I was resisting a lot of my work because I was burnt out and I just didn't feel like doing it. And, you know, much love to that, because you should always rest when you need to rest. And we should not have to worry about how we're going to survive. At this point, I know that the universe takes care of me, and it will take even better care of me the more that I show up and show that I'm open to receive that love. So may you be open as well, as open as possible to receiving all the love that is out there for you. You should deserve it. Peace. Ma salame. Much love.